This is Randy Rosetta with HubCityPreps.com with the special edition of the LISD Lowdown. Special because we are talking to Jill Schneider, who made a major career decision here recently. And Jill, I'm going to let you, it's not breaking news anymore, but I'm going to let you give the news.
Well, I've just decided to resign my position here at Monterey as a teacher, pre-cal teacher, and head girls basketball coach, effective at the end of this school year. I have plans to retire August 1st, but just navigating the logistics of all of that together is just kind of better that we kind of introduce it this way.
And you know, I've got to work this word in. This is the end of a legendary career. I was working on the story before I came, and we'll post later, just looking at the stuff that through the years that have been accomplished, culminating obviously with, I think it was 37 days ago, leading a team to the top of the mountaintop in Class 5A Division II, your first state championship, Monterey's first since 1981. You're going out on top. That's a pretty cool way to finish things up. It
really is, Randy, and to tell you the truth, that was a little bit of, I guess, the incentive that I had to go ahead and make the decision. This year I'd given some consideration into maybe staying one more year, which I've done since 2012, when Kellen graduated. And you and I have talked about this, that every year since she graduated I was eligible by TRS standards, and I just kept going year by year by year. And but winning the state championship was just maybe one of the greatest things I've ever experienced. And I listened to Gino Auriemma last night when he was talking about his talk with God, how he went on a walk, and he was talking to God about how he had all those championships, he didn't need this one, but he was just really praying hard that his kids could experience it. And that's really the feeling that I had with the state championship. I just am so happy that this team got to experience it, and I got to experience them with it. So I have to say that kind of played a part into my decision.
You mentioned this something before I turned the camera on. You still had some things to ponder, because Aaliyah Chavez, obviously her career came to an end that day. But two of the other, I would assume you would say, best players that you ever coached in 39 years, R.A. Johnson and Ambrosia Cole, they're going to be back for one more run. How hard was it to tell them, I'm going to hand this off to somebody else and let you guys take it?
It's difficult, and it's that class is special. Zanaya Wilkerson, love her, Bro, Ari, and really all the players in our program. And it just seems that it doesn't matter. Just every year there's always a player or players that you really want to stay for, and it just can become endless. And man, I've had a great career here. I've enjoyed it so much. I've been here 27 years. It's hard to believe. I was thinking last night how young my children were when I came here. But boy, there have been some real highs, and there have been some lows, but way more highs than lows. And can't say enough about what being here has meant to me. That Monterey is a family. And this has been my family away from home, and feels like my home away from home. So I'm really going to miss it, but also look forward to just doing some other things.
You sound a lot like Bobby Davis and Lewis Kelly. When I covered them back in the day, they said, we're going to wait for one more team. Got this guy coming. At some point, great players keep coming, and you kind of have to start to think, you have to be a little bit selfish at some point and think, I want to look at what's out there beyond, and that's a big part of this now. You're a mom of 3 kids, like you mentioned. Did they all 3 go to Monterey?
They all 3 went to Monterey.
All 3 were athletes. They're out adulting. Now you get to spend some time with them. That's going to be a big part of your retirement. Basketball-wise, what lies ahead for you?
Well, there are just several options. I do have a friend that has hooked me up with some other opportunities to be able to go and watch some basketball and scout basketball. Also, I've got a couple of things coming up, in the very near future, where I'm going to go out to the Nike Hoop Summit that Aaliyah's playing in, I believe, and then also going to get to be a coach for the Jordan Brand Classic here in another week or so. So my immediate future is filled up with basketball stuff. Long term, we'll wait and see. I think I'm going to continue to have some opportunities to get out and about and scout collegiate basketball games, like I have some this year. And then I'm really looking forward to, I can't tell you how many times that I've had my three kids are going somewhere in the winter, and some more times than not, it's Haley's birthday, or it's Thanksgiving, or it's a time when I can't go, Christmas, and I'm looking forward to being able to do some of that kind of stuff while I'm 66 years old, be 67 this summer, while I'm still young enough. Yeah, while I'm still young enough to do those kind of things, I'm looking forward to having a little bit more time to join them.
I'm not sure people realize how involved you've been internationally with basketball, which is ironic in a positive way. I love some quotes I've read from you that obviously in 1980 you were co-captain of the Olympic team that didn't get to go. But you've said several times, you've talked about the career you've had, like no regrets, not that you don't look back and all that, but you have gotten a chance to kind of rekindle that flame a little bit. What's that been like, and could that be something that's still ahead for you to be involved with international and USA basketball team, or USA basketball, the Olympics, all that?
I was involved with USA basketball in so many different capacities, and some of them depended on me being a high school coach, because I was like an NFHS representative or a high school representative to be able to coach some of the teams and to be able to be on the selection committees and things like that. I don't think they have that same criterion to be a team leader. I could always do that if I were asked to do that. Pretty much the person that asked me to do a lot of that retired a couple of years ago, or resigned that position to be the president of FIBA Americas. And so those opportunities kind of went by the wayside when she retired. But I still help her. For instance, I was on a Zoom panel for her last week where she's really helping some of the FIBA Americas coaches that are trying to develop their programs. And she had me and a couple other people on her Zoom call with her. So she's still giving me some opportunities to be involved. I think it's just those kind of things are wait and see if you're asked opportunities. Similar situation with the Olympic Games. I've been to the last 3 Olympic Games. The first one, Carol Callan got me kind of organized to do that, and then the Tokyo and the Paris Olympics, I was asked back by one of the higher guys in FIBA, and he tells me he's potentially maybe retiring in 2027, but he doesn't know. So, if he retires in 2027, 2028 in Los Angeles may not be in the picture. But heck, I'm not ruling it out for me to just go on my own to Los Angeles for that.
Like you said, now you get to be in charge of that.
I'm going to have the time to do it.
One thing about being an expert and somebody that people rely on is that doesn't retire. You could retire, but people are going to keep asking you for your expertise. Which kind of leads me to this next thing. You mentioned being a pre-calc teacher. I remember Butch Henderson, somebody you know very well, told me about when he left high school coaching, that one of the hardest things for him was not having a classroom, not having those kids, because you don't coach them, you teach them. That's going to be a transition for you as well.
Well, it really is, and I love the teaching part of my assignment every bit as much as I love the coaching part. And it just made me so happy. It was last year, I think, over at Cooper, I had a whole bunch of my pre-cal kids all sitting in a section, like cheering for me and our team, and it just made me feel so good. I really love my classroom students, and I'm going to miss all of that. What I absolutely will never miss is grading papers. And I'm so top A personality, I can't make myself not grade the papers. And if I have them do the work, I'm going to grade the work. And boy, it's so tedious and time consuming. I feel like that's like my third full-time job. I teach, I coach, and I grade papers.
Yeah. There's 2 memories, personal memories, that stick out for me about this season, which was incredible to be able to watch. First of all, the day in Abilene, when you won the state semifinal, and Monterey superfan Jim Brown was there, and he walked up and he was talking to you, and you said, "Would you like to take a picture with the trophy?" You made that man's night, week, month, maybe the last several years, just by being you. And the second one was, and I mentioned this to you on the radio, you said the same thing about this team that you did about the team a few years ago that finished 5 and a lot of losses, lost in the first round. You talked about how you loved those kids and they worked hard and they got better. the consistency for you has been there all along. So those things stick out for me about this year.
Well, I appreciate that, Randy. You know, the man that you're referring to is Jim Brown, and anybody that knows about Monterey
Yes.
or Monterey basketball knows who Jim Brown is. He's one of our all-time staunchest fans. He was at the state championship that they won in 1981, and he was at our state championship. And he's a great fan, and he deserved to have a picture made with that trophy. I'm happy that he was there, because him just standing where he was standing prompted me to ask him. And I'll have you know that we had our athletic banquet, we invited him to our banquet, and he made a point to come over and get a picture made with all of the gold balls and the trophy and with me, and I'm more than happy to do that for him. He's a fan like no other. And then every team I've ever coached, I've felt that way about, because you spend so much time together, and they just work so hard, and we're demanding. We're firm but fair, but we demand a lot in terms of physical conditioning. And every player that graduated, 15, 20 years ago thinks that you're so much easier on the players now. It's just, this is ongoing, and if I'm that much easier every year, we must not do anything in practice anymore. but you just grow to love them all, and they really are. We're like raising them too. We kind of partner with the parents and try to help our players grow and mature, and not just get better athletically, but grow and mature as young people and as citizens. And so I think it's just something that I've always felt strongly about. I just love them so much, and that's why it's always hard to find a good time to separate, because there's not an easier time. It's going to be difficult no matter when that time comes, and I just feel like that the time is right. I feel like God has always opened doors at the right time, and I've always just walked through them, and so I feel like that's happening again.
Well, that's one incredible door that's sort of going shut, but I bet something opens back up after 27 years at Monterey, 39 years as a high school coach, I guess 46 years as a coach.
44, and then a year of graduate coach. So 45 if you count a graduate student assistant.
Long time as a coach, a lot of impact made, a lot of lives touched.
Yeah, and it's been great. I wouldn't trade it for anything in the world, except maybe retirement.